Is getting up there in age, getting pretty old, getting up there with the milfies. I wouldn't say she's a milfie though, but she's getting up there. This is the battle of the two granddads, man. You can gamble this on TRACY CORTEZ because she's really hot. No, dude, if this was like the hottest chick of the UFC contest, sure, I'll give this to TRACY. She's cool. Maybe she needs that money to gamble it more and to buy more drugs. Who knows? Can't even really talk about the odds today because look at this, bruh. Doesn't even have everything on it. There's only 5 fights on here. It's not even worth talking about the odds and money, so I'll save that for a short video. But yeah. Alrighty. Fight night. ROSA Namajunas versus TRACY CORTEZ. Picks. Parlates. Betting odds. I'm just going to go through it pretty quickly. I'm not going to, go deep diving into where they grew up and when they throw lefts and what type of combos they use. I'm just going to get straight to the point of who I think has a better chance. Alright, so we're going to start with Andrei Petroski versus Josh Fremd. Andrei has good power, better stand-up than Josh. He does have a bit of an overhyped ground game. Josh, on the other hand, doesn't have that good of a takedown defense, but doesn't have that good of a stand-up. Mediocre fighter. Honestly, yeah, I'll have to give this to Andrei Petroski, although he did get KO'd. I don't remember by who, but it was because he headbutted somebody's hip and got KO'd. Either way, moving on. Montel Jackson versus Blackshear. Montel just has great, stand-up game. He's great on his feet. He's smooth with it. Blackshear, he has strong ground game. He has strong takedown defense, and I feel like he's going to smother Montel on the ground. And he was hyped for taking 2 fights back-to-back a year ago. He fought 2 weeks back-to-back, and he's kind of known for that. But regardless of the hype, I do think Blackshear smothers Montel Jackson. Some people think that Montel is, gonna knock him out, and there's a big chance for it, but I'm gonna take my chances. I'm gonna say Blackshear takes him down, keeps him down, dominates. All right, moving on. Luna Santos versus Mariya Agapova. Oh boy, so many things have been coming out about Mariya Agapova in the last however long. A lot of dirt, a lot of rumors. Maybe some of it's true, but she's been homeless, she's been starving, she's been gambling, she's been addicted to drugs. The person's going through it. I feel bad for that girl. Either way, and also I think she's coming off a knee surgery recently, and yeah. She doesn't have that good of a history in the UFC either. She has weak defense, takedown defense. She has weak ground game. She has some power and not a lot of control with that power. So we'll see. She definitely has the potential to maybe TKO Luna, but with so much stuff going on with the life, maybe she'll turn up. Maybe she needs that money to gamble it more and to buy more drugs. Who knows? You don't know what she can do. Either way, and Luna Santos, she's a upcoming prospect, or I don't know if you can call her a prospect, but either way, she's upcoming. She is 2-0 in the UFC. She's pretty well rounded. She has a pretty good ground game. Nothing you can go home and brag about though, but pretty good ground game. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the fighter stats, even I just want to give it to Luna Santos, and I want to see her rise up through the rankings. And Mariya Agapova, I think it's time to retire. Maybe hit the rehab center. Maybe go to anonymous, whatever it's called, and call the hotline if you're having gambling problems. I know it's hard. I'll be putting money on probably this fight. I'm gambling. It's terrible. But either way, moving on. Josh Van versus Charles Jhonson. Both of these guys are really, really slow starters. They come in there, they feel each other out, they'll be rounding each other up. It'll be probably a snooze fest for the first round. But in general, Josh has really good stand-up. He does have a weak ground game, but has a pretty strong takedown defense. He was able to stuff a lot of takedowns when he was fighting. I forgot what's his name, but either way, has a pretty good takedown defense and pretty good fighting IQ. Charles Jhonson, on the other hand, he's just a monster. He just keeps coming at you. He has amazing cardio. Ground game, not that good, but if you take him down, he's gonna give his all to get back up, and he does get back up. And like both of these guys, they don't have that good of a ground game. But if this does go to the ground, Josh Van is gonna have an upper hand on it. So the only way for Charles to win is honestly on his feet. Josh Van has some potential on the ground, not all, but some potential. Charles, on the other hand, has none. Let's go to Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Fatima Kline. Jasmine, she has a really mid UFC career. She is getting up there in age, getting pretty old, getting up there with the milfies. I wouldn't say she's a milfie though, but she's getting up there with the age. With that age though comes more experience. Fatima Kline, she had her UFC debut. She showed really good stand-up in that UFC debut, really good ground game, kind of well-rounded. But we just haven't seen enough of her in the UFC just yet. And we'll see how this fight goes. Jasmine, she has bad stand-up. She does very little on the feet, and she stays open. She's really hittable, and yeah. But her ground game is a little better. It's decent, and she has pretty good takedowns. Like when she shoots, she has pretty good success. Even though she's, pretty well-rounded, and we want to see her do good. She recently moved up from strawweight to flyweight, and, when you're moving up from a lighter weight to a heavier weight, that does affect your performance, and hopefully that just doesn't affect her performance too much. So we just haven't seen enough of Fatima to talk about her yet, and we just need to see how this fight goes, and we'll be talking about her soon again. And for now, I'll just have to give this to Jasmine. But no. I'll give this to Fatima Kline. Either way, I don't want to be focusing on these fights for too long. Let's get it moving. Fatima Kline with the win. Probably going to go the distance. Either way, moving on. All right, moving on. Abdul Alhassan versus Cody Brundage. Straight up, they're just giving Cody Brundage to Abdul Razak as a can. He's a can. He's going to get crushed. Abdul is more well-rounded than Cody. He has good takedown defense. He has better striking, better kicks than Cody. Everything around, man. Cody is a can. He's going to get crushed. Moving on. Julian Erosa versus Christian Rodriguez. Julian, he's like a slow starter, mediocre stand-up game. Looks like he's a can. I think he's a can, and they're going to feed him to Christian. Which Christian, he's a monster. He, once he starts going, he has amazing cardio, insane gas tank, good stand-up. He's just going to stuff all his takedowns. He's going to keep it on the feet, and he's just going to destroy Julian. Julian needs to retire. He's getting up there in age. And Christian, they're giving him a kind of an easy fight, and he's going to take it. And so I'm putting my money on Christian Rodriguez. Moving on. Ange Loosa versus Gabriel Bonfirm. This is going to be a pretty close fight. Gabe just has more great boxing, more great cardio. He's more decent at grappling. He's just that one little step above Ange. And I think Gabriel's going to take this one home. I honestly don't have much else to say about this one. And then we're going to move on to Drew Dober versus Gene Silva. So Gene Silva, he has just recently fought at UFC 303, and he looked pretty good against Charles Jourdain, and he won round 2 knockout. He has really good stand-up. He, does a little showboating there and there. But even with this being back-to-back fights, only a week apart, I think Gene Silva has this in the bag. Drew Dober, he's more of a old-school boxer, and he's gonna, keep his posture. He's gonna be squared and going to be protected at all times. Gene Silva, he's going to be a little more open, but he's also more fluid, and he's going to work Drew Dober out, and he's going to guess him out, and eventually might get a knockout in round 3. That is my prediction. Maybe. If not, it's going to go to the score. All right, Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Muslim Salikov. This is the battle of the two granddads, man. These guys are both getting up there in age. They're both pretty chinny. Weak chins. Santiago, the only thing he has on him, he has that knockout power. He has that little reach advantage over Muslim. And Muslim, I think the only advantage he has some cool kicks. He has some cool roundhouse kicks. He has some cool scissor kicks. Yeah, I don't know. This is a interesting fight. I don't know. I don't even honestly know how to predict it, but I'm just going to give it to Santiago Panzibo. I think he just has a little bit more experience over Muslim, and he has that knockout power compared to Muslim not really having that. And they're both chinny, so honestly, it could go either way. This is like a coin flip. You can coin flip and predict this fight. I don't know. So I'm just going Santiago Panzanibo. Moving on to Rose Namajunas versus TRACY CORTEZ, the main event of the evening. Rose Namajunas is just all more well-rounded than TRACY CORTEZ. She has so much more experience. She's a previous champ. She has an amazing stand-up game, amazing ground game. It's not even a question. Rose takes this. Some people are saying, hey, maybe we can gamble this on TRACY CORTEZ because, she's really hot. We're giving this girl because she's hot. No, dude, if this was like the hottest chick of the UFC contest, sure, I'll give this to TRACY. She's cool. But not with this fight, man. Rose just has so much more over her and experience, everything. And also, short notice for TRACY CORTEZ, by the way. Short notice. So on top of all those things, it's also a short notice fight. You just kind of got to give it to Rose Namajunas, man. I don't know. If you're giving it to TRACY, you're delusional, or maybe you're correct. I don't know. One or the other. Either way, thank you all so much for tuning in. See y'all later. That was a terrible ending, but...